For decades, the global mind has trapped this nation in a singular, faded postcard. A postcard of conflict, of poverty, of a timeless but stagnant past. But if you look closer at this slender S-shaped anomaly clinging to the edge of Asia, you will find that the old postcard has been completely incinerated. What stands here today, after 4,000 years of cultural evolution, is one of the most explosive, hyper-contrasted realities on Earth. A realm where the future has arrived at lightning speed, yet the ancient soul of the land remains entirely unyielding. To understand this riddle, we must look beyond the travel brochures. We must map a nation that did not just survive history, but engineered its own rebirth. Our descent into the soul of this nation begins in the extreme south. Welcome to Ho Chi Minh City. To anyone arriving here for the first time, this is a roaring, hyper-modern metropolis of the 21st century, a booming global financial nexus where international investors fiercely compete to dominate its golden skyline. Looking at these monolithic towers of glass and steel, you would never guess the brutal genesis of this city. Just over 3 centuries ago, this entire landscape was a vast, impenetrable labyrinth of malaria-infested swamps, dense mangrove forests, and apex predators. It was the ultimate hostile frontier. But against all odds, fearless Vietnamese pioneers pushed into this green abyss. Armed with nothing but rudimentary tools and an unbreakable willpower, they fought back the wild, drained the swamps, and performed a staggering act of urban alchemy. They turned mud into an empire of gold. That pioneer grit, the absolute refusal to surrender to the elements, remains the beating heart of the city today. And you can taste this triumphant history on every street corner. Here, culinary artistry is not confined to Michelin-starred restaurants. The world's most demanding palates, including the legendary chef Gordon Ramsay, have journeyed here, only to be left in absolute awe. On these vibrant streets, a multimillionaire stepping out of a luxury vehicle will happily sit on a tiny plastic stool next to a local worker, both sharing a humble plate of cum tum broken rice. It is a democratic ritual of flavor, born from ancient scarcity, now elevated to an untouchable cultural masterpiece. But the true magnitude of the South lies beyond the concrete borders. Driving 90 minutes west, we cross colossal feats of modern engineering, suspension bridges that stretch across the horizon. These steel titans deliver us into an entirely different dimension of human existence. Welcome to the Mekong Delta, the realm of the 9 dragons. Born from the eternal snowmelt of the Himalayas, the mighty Mekong River travels over 3,000 miles before fracturing into 9 massive branches, creating one of the most dynamic and fertile floodplains on the planet. For centuries, Western civilizations have built massive concrete dams and levees to fight against the rising waters. But here, the people achieved something far more brilliant. They adapted. They do not fight the floods, they surrender to them. Look at the floating markets of Kairang. This is not merely a place of commerce. It is a living, breathing organism, an amphibious civilization moving in perfect synchrony with the lunar tides. Long before the modern era, this exact water world birthed the Funan Empire, a wildly wealthy maritime kingdom that controlled the ancient trade routes between Rome and India. Though its grand wooden palaces and temples eventually vanished, brutally swallowed by the sands and mud of deep time, the aquatic DNA of its people could not be erased. This profound respect for the water extends into the wild. Deep in the southwest, the delta shelters primordial sanctuaries like Tram Chim National Park. These untouched peatlands and submerged forests act as the green lungs of the continent. They are an evolutionary arc, a sanctuary where rare, majestic species thrive in absolute prehistoric silence, far from the reach of industrialization. The Southern Odyssey reaches its dramatic climax, where the delta finally surrenders to the fury of the ocean. Just a short flight from the mainland lie the nation's final frontiers, the pristine shores of Quoc and the rugged, hauntingly isolated cliffs of Con Dao. There is no need for artificial luxury here. The sheer, terrifying beauty of these untamed islands surrounded by vibrant coral reefs, and the crushing weight of the sea stands as a silent testament. It is a reminder that Vietnam is a nation of extreme, breathtaking contrasts. A place where you can touch the hyper-modern future in the morning and completely lose yourself in the primordial earth by dusk. Leaving the endless alluvial plains of the south behind, a short flight transports us to the narrowest and most extreme geography of the country. We arrive in central Vietnam, and standing just as prominently as the southern metropolis of Ho Chi Minh City, the modern epicenter of this region is Da Nang. To anyone landing here, Da Nang is a thriving, globally recognized coastal powerhouse, defined by sleek bridges and luxurious oceanfront resorts. It is a city that has completely reborn itself from the scars of the 20th century, racing relentlessly toward the future. But Da Nang is more than just a modern destination. It is our gateway into a crucible of geological fury and deep time. Just a 45-minute drive from Da Nang, ascending high into the misty peaks, you will find an architectural masterpiece that has captivated the globe. The Golden Bridge, suspended almost 5,000 feet above sea level, It appears as though the mountain gods themselves have thrust their hands from the earth to offer a golden thread to the heavens. It is a brilliant fusion of human imagination and the raw atmospheric beauty of nature. Yet, if you travel just an hour south of Da Nang, the futuristic momentum suddenly halts. Plunging deep into a sacred, hidden valley, we encounter a civilization far older than the modern era. This is the My Son Sanctuary, the spiritual epicenter of the lost Champa Kingdom. Beginning around the 2nd century, the Cham people were the undisputed masters of the South China Sea. They were visionary mariners and architectural geniuses. Eventually, the borders of their empire vanished, absorbed by the march of history. But look closely at the walls they left behind. These towering brick temples pose an unsolved physical enigma to scientists. Constructed over a millennium ago, they were built entirely of baked clay bricks, joined together with absolute precision using absolutely zero mortar. No cement, no binding agents visible to the human eye. How did an ancient people engineer a structural bond so flawless that it has withstood 1,000 years of brutal monsoons without crumbling? It is a haunting riddle, forged in clay that modern science has yet to replicate. Heading north from Da Nang, our path is blocked by a colossal geological sword, the Annamite Range. Where these mountains abruptly plunge into the sea, they form the legendary Hai Van Pass, the pass of ocean clouds. This is a brutal meteorological barrier that physically cleaves the nation's climate in half. Crossing this atmospheric wall brings us into the mist-shrouded valleys of Hui. To the Western world, the name Hu might be unfamiliar. But for over a century before the modern era swept across the globe, this city was the absolute center of power. It was the grand imperial capital of the entire nation. Here, along the tranquil banks of the Perfume River, Vietnam's last royal empire, the Nguyen Dynasty, built a sprawling citadel to rule their territory. Though parts of this regal city were nearly swallowed by the sands of warfare, its aristocratic soul refused to die. The meticulous restoration of its palaces and royal tombs reveals a profound truth. Hue remains the beating heart of Vietnam's imperial heritage. It is a serene, living museum where the ghosts of ancient emperors still wander through the morning mist. Yet, the greatest secret of central Vietnam was not forged by human hands. Continuing further north from the ancient capital, we plunge into the vast, impenetrable emerald massifs of Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park. Beneath these jagged limestone peaks lies a subterranean kingdom of unimaginable, terrifying scale. For hundreds of millions of years, relentless underground rivers have been carving their way through the earth, engineering the largest natural cave systems on the planet. At its dark core lies Son Doong. To call it a cave is a profound understatement. It is an alien world, a subterranean void so massive that it houses its own localized weather system. Clouds literally form beneath the earth. Ancient, isolated jungles surge upward toward the scattered beams of sunlight. Standing inside these colossal, silent chambers, spaces large enough to swallow entire city blocks, humanity is instantly reduced to a microscopic speck. It is an exhilarating, humbling descent into the primordial earth, a place where the fleeting empires of men mean absolutely nothing, and only the slow, eternal heartbeat of the planet remains. Leaving the subterranean darkness of the center, our final geographical ascent takes us north. Following the flow of the volatile Red River to the very cradle of this entire civilization, we arrive in Hanoi. Stepping into these streets for the first time, the sheer density and kinetic energy of the city can be overwhelming. But to truly understand Vietnam, you must understand Hanoi, founded over a millennium ago. This is the nation's political and cultural epicenter, a city where deep time and the 21st century exist in a fierce dynamic embrace. While other ancient Asian capitals have been completely bulldozed and swallowed by the sands of rapid modernization, Hanoi's old quarter absolutely refused to die. Here, beneath the shadows of colonial architecture and ancient banyan trees, a vibrant labyrinth of commerce and culture thrives. It is a place where you can feel the weight of 1,000 years of history in the damp air. Yet, the pulse of the city is purely electric. Hanoi is the beating heart of the nation's identity, stubborn, deeply intellectual, and constantly evolving. But, true to the extreme contrasts of this country, escaping the urban frenzy takes mere hours. Driving east from the capital, the modern world abruptly falls away, and we are confronted with a marine landscape so alien it feels pulled directly from the realm of mythology. This is Ha Long Bay, the Bay of the Descending Dragon. To geologists, this is a prehistoric graveyard of monumental proportions. Over 2,000 monolithic limestone pillars rise vertically from the jade-green waters. They are the skeletal remains of a massive plateau, meticulously carved by wind, tectonic shifts, and salt water over 500 million years. It is a geological masterpiece on a planetary scale. Today, you do not navigate this vast, silent maze in weathered wooden boats. Instead, elite travelers explore these ancient waters aboard luxury super yachts and seaplanes, offering an unparalleled level of sophistication that seamlessly merges with the untamed prehistoric environment. Yet, the ultimate testament to human willpower lies far northwest of the capital. Ascending into the treacherous altitudes of the Huanglianshan mountain range, we reach the roof of Indochina. Here, you will witness the absolute triumph of human engineering over hostile geography. These are the terraced fields of the high-altitude indigenous tribes faced with sheer, impenetrable cliffs and a brutal climate. The ancestors of these people did not retreat. Using nothing but rudimentary hand tools, generation after generation, sculpted the vertical mountainsides into thousands of cascading steps. They engineered a massive gravity-fed irrigation system to trap the monsoon rains and cultivate rice on the edge of the abyss. It is a staggering feat of architectural survival. While other ancient highland cultures around the world simply vanished, unable to tame the earth, these communities thrived. They took the most hostile terrain on the planet, and manually carved it into a living, golden stairway to the heavens. Our journey across this S-shaped enigma is now complete. We began by looking at an outdated postcard, wondering how a nation survives the weight of its own history. By now, the truth is undeniably clear. Vietnam is not a monument to tragedy. It is not a nation struggling to catch up. It is a breathtaking paradox. A leapfrog nation that has catapulted itself into the highest echelons of the future without ever severing its ancient earthen roots. From the high-tech cyber momentum of its hypercities to the silent, vast majesty of its subterranean kingdoms. From the legendary hospitality forged in the river deltas to the monumental agricultural masterpieces sculpted into the clouds. This is a land that bends like bamboo in the storm, adapts like water, and endures like stone. It is the beating heart of a resilient continent, a place where the past is fiercely protected and the future is embraced with unyielding optimism. This is Vietnam, an eternal ascending dragon, and it is waiting for you to truly see it. If this journey has shifted your perspective, if it has awakened a relentless spirit of discovery within you, do not let the Odyssey end here. Our world is still forged with untold mysteries and hidden masterpieces, waiting to be brought into the light. Subscribe to the channel and join us as we continue to map the beating heart of our planet. Until next time, never stop exploring.